Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me here. Today, I'm going to talk about the feelings of terror that come when we're going through an awakening, why this is happening, and the best practices for working through it and letting the terror feelings, the intense, fearful emotions and energies, helping them to release from your body. So, the first thing I want to talk about is terror was such a huge part of my awakening early in my journey. I had always been a very fearful person. I've always suffered from like anxiety and just nervousness and a sense of just fear about a lot of things in my life, like almost too many to count. But it wasn't until my awakening started happening, and the Kundalini energy started flushing out a lot of this deep-seated fear that I really started feeling like feelings of sheer terror. And the terror was at times so overwhelming and all-consuming, and it was just, I was always so confused about what is happening. I felt like I was being haunted at times. I felt like I was just straight up like in a nightmare. So I know how really just awful it can be and how confusing it can be if you're going through this awakening symptom of just feeling tons of fear energy coming up. But I just want to let you know I've been through it, and the reason that I found it's happening is because when we're going through an awakening, what is happening is we are needing to the whole point of it is so that we can ground light, so that we can be a vessel for light, so that we can help the world awaken. And we do this by integrating more and more of this higher frequency in our being. And for this to happen, we need to first release the old. We need to release the density, the denser emotions, the denser feelings, and the denser energies. And depending on your life, depending on what energies you've suppressed, what emotions you've suppressed, also depending on just what you were born with. We're all born into a certain amount of karma. And what I mean by karma is depending on your past lives, depending on your family lineage, you come into this life with a certain amount of accumulated energy and trauma and pain and conditioning that needs to be resolved from however you want to look at it, from past lives, or even earlier in your life as a child. You really don't have a choice in this. You're going to take on a lot of conditioning and karma just out of like basic survival necessity. So that's why when we go through an awakening, it can feel extremely intense, and we can feel overwhelmed with emotion. For me, it was terror and fear and just insane anxiety. Maybe for you, it's anger or sadness or grief or apathy or whatever you have suppressed in this life and lives prior. That's what the Kundalini or the spiritual energy that's coming into you is going to be purging. That's what it is going to be helping you to release from your being. So it does this so that way you can start feeling a lot more spacious within, and then that way you can start anchoring more of these higher frequency energies into your being, into your body, and really bringing them to planet Earth. But for this to happen, we have to let go of the old. We have to burn through that karma. And literally sometimes it will feel like it's literally burning inside of you. You'll be in so much discomfort and so much just agony. I've been there. I've been in so much pain for such long periods where all I could do is just lay in the fetal position and just cry and just be terrified. And I would just have so much fear energy in my body at times coming up and out. It would just like, it would take the mind for a ride, because the mind is going to start producing all of these fearful thoughts, because typically the mind's thoughts match the flavor of the emotion coming up, and they're one and the same. Thoughts and emotions, they're very, very much linked. So that's what my experience has been is it is a gift. It doesn't feel like a gift when it's happening, but if we can just realize that this is happening for our highest good and our highest potential, and it's happening so that we can be liberated from these feelings, and that so we can feel so much lighter, then it really helps shift your mindset when it's happening. Instead of having a reactive emotional response to it, you are more able to see it as a positive, as a beneficial healing and cathartic process that's here to serve you. And that in that way you will be more open to the energy that is being released. And that's the huge key, guys. It's so essential for you to just, in a genuine way, open to the fear, to the tremendous terror feelings, or if it's anger, sadness, whatever the negative emotion is, whatever the darkness is, just really open to it and allow it to come up and fully arise in your being with all of its intensity. Hold nothing back at all and hold no resistance to it, and just really surrender to these darker emotions and feelings and energies. And in this way, you'll start to feel how much quicker they're going to release from your being. And the second real component to this is to do not believe your thoughts. When you're going through a heavy release of, say, terror feelings, like panic feelings, you're gonna have panicky terror thoughts. It's just the nature of the process. The practice is to just stay completely relaxed and stay open to it all, and to not believe your thoughts, and to just know that you have a mind, you are not your mind, and it's just a machine, it's not a master, and that you do not have to do its bidding. And just be open to all the thoughts that come up. Don't try to suppress them, run from them, or escape them. But also, don't get so sucked into them that you're just going on a ride with them. You're just space. You don't say yes, you're not saying yes or no to the thoughts. You're just allowing them to come up, and you're just shining the light of pure awareness on them, of pure objective awareness. Because that's truly what you are. You're pure consciousness, you're pure awareness, and your being is truly indestructible. Your being is unharmable. So it's just the mind. Let it have its freedom. Let it have its fearful terror movements. Let it, it's just a survival machine at the end of the day, and it's very innocent. And when all this crazy dark energy is coming up to be released, it's just in its nature to be concerned. That's what the mind does. And if we can just know this ahead of time, then it makes it so much more tenable to work with a fearful mind. Because it is going to be a lot, guys. If you're going through a true spiritual awakening, you are going to be unearthing and mining up so much, because there is so much in there to be healed, to be felt, to be transmuted. And the way to do this, guys, is just stay as open as you can with it. Don't try to avoid this. Don't try to suppress this energy, or don't try to conquer fear by avoiding your fear. It will never work. You have to go through your fear. You have to open to it, and you have to feel it fully. And what you'll realize is fear is a very limited energy. It is only our fear of fear that makes fear feel like unlimited. If our mind is afraid, if we're afraid of feeling fear, then yes, fear, terror, all these negative emotions can feel just too overwhelming. But if we have an honest and genuine embrace of the fear, if we have an honest and genuine of embracing the opposite of fear, which is just fearlessness, meaning openness, if we will embrace being totally open to whatever arises, you will see how limited these feelings are, and how powerful you are. And every time you let a layer of fear, terror, anger, panic, whatever, deep sadness and grief, every time you let a layer of this darkness up, your being deepens. And every layer that comes up, you'll notice you feel a little bit more connected to your depth, and you'll feel so much more space, so much more expansive awareness to connect to. because you're letting go of that heaviness that has kept you so trapped in your mind and so trapped in a negative thought cycle and negative patterns. And when we can just really let this up to be released, we start sensing the infinite nature of our being, and we start sensing what we truly are. So I really wanted to make this video for you guys because I have so much experience, and so much of my awakening has been about walking through fear and opening to fear and allowing all of my lifetimes of fear up. I feel like I've had just like so much fear to work through, and it's been something that I just feel really passionate about helping anyone else going through something like I went through and still go through at times. So I wanted to make that video for you guys. I hope this helps. Let me know what you're going through in the comments if you want. If you have any questions about this, I'd be more than happy to help you out. So thank you for watching, guys. Namaste.